Well, how are we doing, Beatstar players? This is iRoasted5 here, and welcome back to another Beatstar Editorial. Today we're going to be looking at the next alternate season here at Tour Pass Season 53. This is actually a big one to be talking about. What do I mean by this? Well, why don't we get straight into it? Let's begin. So it looks like the season's title this time is called Decibel Deluxe. Not gonna lie, a pretty good title overall, but what do we have this season, you may ask? Well, the usual, we have 2 normals. Wait, that's not usual, that's a blessing. We have 5 standard hards, which is amazing. We have 1 extreme, but you know, what you gonna do? And surprisingly enough, the 9th song this time is actually a new deluxe. In fact, one that we haven't seen before. I'm actually really surprised about how interesting this variety is, but will they live up based around chart preferences? Let's find out. Let's get into the Season 53 rating. So starting off with the first song, we have The Kids Aren't Alright by The Offspring. The original standard was a hard and the deluxe was an extreme. And say it with me, the standard wasn't that hard, so downgrading it wasn't a bad idea. For this one over here, I'm not really against it being a normal here, because when you actually take the vocals in hand, I can definitely see it being a normal. Is it boring? A little bit, but unlike Montero, I can understand why they decided to downgrade it. It does actually teach players some interesting gimmicks over here, and I'm really glad they actually kept the whole entire Hell lyric. So I'll be giving this one a B+, definitely not one I will play again. I do prefer the hard and extreme, but as it is, it's decent. So next up we have The Trooper by Iron Maiden. It feels a little unfortunate for me to be talking like this, but considering how the standard and deluxe were extreme and this is a normal, you can guess how I felt about this. I really don't understand why they need to have mega downgrades necessary for extremes this tough. And unlike Godzilla normal, where I'm laughing about how lacking and undercharted it is, this one I'm more bored by it. You could argue that the solo here being downgraded does help players, and I think it does do a good job doing that, but honestly, this could have been a standard hard, and I would have actually felt the same way, although would have found it a bit better. So unfortunately, I'm going to be giving this one a C here. If you like it, that's perfectly fine. It's just that compared to any other things it could do here, this one's just pretty mid overall. Next we have is Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. We have the first hard in this season right over here, and man, this one really was needed for an alternate hard. Really interesting here, this one was a standard normal and a deluxe hard, so obviously I'm not against them going back at it again and making it a hard. I feel like this one right here complements how much this song has really amazing lyrics and guitar riffs, and it shows here with the micros and the holds here that they can do some really fun tricks with it. I really found it really challenging overall, and I actually do think it's actually really fun. I'm going to be giving this one an A. I really do like this one, not as much as this deluxe here, but I'm really glad I gave it a try. Next up we have Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. This alternate version right over here really does stick out really interesting as a real boxing match. It throws very different patterns at you that really do leave you on your feet, and you better be ready for the ending because I did not expect them to do something really interesting with it. By charting the guitar riffs over here, it really does lead to a really fun finale here where you gotta keep a hold of yourself. Also, this has apparently more notes than the deluxe hard, which is pretty funny. I'll be giving this one an A, definitely a really needed improvement over it, and I do think it's actually really fun to play. Next up we have Thanks for the Memories by Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy again in the alternate category, interesting. And this definitely is my favorite song from them in the game here. I did not expect them to go this hard with the whole entire alternate version hard, but this one really does have a lot of fun things with it. It kind of reminds me a bit of I Write Sins Not Tragedy, where the buffed up patterns here make it really fun to play. The percussion here with the holds at the end really does make it worthwhile and has a lot of great things to be put in here. I'm going to be giving this one an A as well. Not as good as I Write Sins Not Tragedy Deluxe, but I do think this one has a lot of great things in it that really do make it fun to play. And next up we have No One Knows by Queens of Stone Age. My gosh, I cannot believe they did it. They actually made an alternate version of this chart that's actually a lot of fun. The alternate version fixes the issues with the standard that a lot of people have, the unusual patterns, the really gimmicky playthroughs, and the unfair notion. By speeding up the whole entire chart over here and actually adding some more gallops in here, even the guitar solo really does give it a really worthwhile attempt to play it again. I really enjoyed this one so much, and it's actually a pretty tough one. I'll be giving this one an A+ here, and I also do recommend the Deluxe. It's also really fun to play. Look it up. And next up here we have Duality by Slipknot. You know what's actually funny to me? For one that doesn't have to exist over here, Duality really knows how to actually keep a challenge going. Unlike the Trooper Normal, Duality spared no expense of actually trying to stay with its tough patterns, and it really shows here how much they really want to trick players up with this alternate version. I think this was definitely needed here, and the charting here for the vocals here actually do work to its advantage of actually making it pretty tricky. I know this wasn't needed since the other charts were tough as heck, but this hard serves a good purpose of helping players get on the right track. I'm going to be giving this one an A as well here. It's pretty divisive, but I had a fun time with this. And lastly here we have Down With The Sickness by Disturbed, the alternate extreme of the season. This one was a bizarre choice for an extreme. The chart is more reserved for people who have DP'd both the standard and deluxe here, because the chart is very predictable. If you know how the instrumentation goes, then this one's not going to be a problem at all. But I will say here that I do actually appreciate them actually giving Down With The Sickness finally its dying wish of being extreme. It's not a bad chart by any means, but I can definitely see a lot of players saying it's pretty easy. I'm going to be giving this one a B over here, definitely a passable extreme over here, and I do actually think it's not one of the worst extremes here. It's just pretty predictable, but that's not much of a bad thing. And as a bonus, we have Dear Maria Count Me In Deluxe by All Time Low. I cannot believe here they finally actually made a deluxe for this one, as this one was one of the most hyped ones of the deluxe polls. Some players expected this one to be a harder deluxe, maybe like a deluxe extreme, but honestly, I wouldn't go that far. I do think it's best to respect it for what it does right, and I do think this chart does do a lot of things right here. The vocals here really do a good job of actually trying to stimulate the holds over here. The doubles are really fun, and I think the patterns over here overall give me a fun time. I'm going to be giving this one an A- here. Definitely it's more mixed around the community, but I had to say here, I'm really impressed with this one. Just need a little bit of a boost to make it a lot more memorable. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the new changes compared to the other alternate seasons. Firstly, we have one new deluxe here, and I think this change serves the purpose of giving players an extra deluxe while we wait for the next batch. I really think this is a good change because I did actually want deluxes back in Tour Pass as much as some other people do, and giving at least one of them here was actually a really nice change overall. We also got some new harder alternate hards for the season, and it seems like the newer ones overall held more of a challenge and pattern variety than some of the older ones from season 50. I do think this is as well a really good change over here by actually giving more difficulty and more fleshed out patterns here in the alternate hards. In terms of anything else to include over here, I do think the inclusion of the deluxes here can maybe increase by 2 for each alternate season. They could still do the 7 songs similar to seasons 47 and 48 and actually give maybe 2 more deluxes. I really like this right here can actually speed up the new deluxe variety. In addition, not every season will have the same variety, but I do want them to experiment a little bit more with other genres like alternative and dance alternatives. Perhaps maybe experiment more also with songs that need harder versions because they seem to do best in that category, and for the easier versions, just be mindful of how much to limit. The easier ones overall weren't bad charts, but they definitely do have some that are very lacking, so maybe just try to keep working on that. But overall, we actually reached the end of the video, and I do say season 53 was a pleasant surprise after a refreshing season with new songs. And for those who are asking why I didn't actually review season 52 is because, well, I didn't have time to buy the season. But that's alright, I'll get back to the songs when I can get to it. Anyway, season 53 for most songs here really hit hard with either the difficulty or pattern variety, and this season overtook season 51's record of being now the best alternate season we got. I give it an 8 out of 10 overall. I will say though that now that alternate seasons are now becoming more of the norm for Beatstar, I just really hope they keep experimenting a bit for each new season and giving something new. Because the season showed me that they can do some interesting things when they're on the right track in terms of variety, like a new deluxe to unlock, a higher difficulty variety, or just more alternate hards needing great patterns. But yeah, then we reached the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching this amazing video. I really had a lot of fun playing this season, and I really do think that these alternate seasons, in my opinion, are definitely getting better. But only time will tell whether or not we'll actually get ourselves back to the norm of actually the tour pass with popular songs again. Will we though? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and you all have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.